The great wars of Romagna ended. Caesar Borgia, who had completed his conquest, had need of money to purchase all of Italy. The Pope had also need of money to bring matters to an end with Louis XII, King of France, who was formidable still in spite of his recent reverses. And it was necessary, therefore, to have recourse to some profitable scheme, which was a matter of great difficulty in the impoverished condition of exhausted Italy. His Holiness had an idea. He determined to make two cardinals. By choosing two of the greatest personages of Rome, especially rich men, this was the return the Holy Father looked for. In the first place, he could sell the great appointments and splendid offices which the cardinals already held, and then he had the two hats to sell besides. There is a third point in view, which will appear hereafter. The Pope and Caesar Borgia first found the two future cardinals. They were Giovanni Rospigliosi, who held four of the highest dignities of the Holy See, and Caesar Spada, one of the noblest and richest of the Roman nobility. Both felt the high honor of such favor from the Pope. They were ambitious, and Caesar Borgia soon found purchasers for their appointments. The result was that Rospigliosi and Spada paid for being cardinals, and 8 other persons paid for the offices the cardinals held before their elevation. And thus 800,000 crowns entered in the coffers of the speculators. It is time now to proceed to the last part of the speculation. The Pope heaped attentions upon Rospigliosi and Spada, conferred upon them the insignia of the cardinalate, and induced them to arrange their affairs and take up their residence at Rome. Then the Pope and Caesar Borgia invited the two cardinals to dinner. This was a matter of dispute between the Holy Father and his son. Caesar thought they could make use of one of the means which he always had ready for his friends, that is to say, in the first place, the famous key which was given to certain persons with the request that they go and openated the designated cupboard. This key was furnished with a small iron point, a negligence on the part of the locksmith. When this was pressed to effect the opening of the cupboard, of which the lock was difficult, the person was pricked by this small point, and died the next day. Then there was the ring with the lion's head, which Caesar wore when he wanted to greet his friends with the clasp of the hand. The lion bit the hand thus favored, and at the end of 24 hours the bite was mortal. Okay, we are just going into a completely different story all of a sudden. I kind of expected Faria to explain the story to Dante. I didn't actually think we'd pull a full H.P. Lovecraft and go into the story. I mean, granted, it's told from high elevation. We're not in the heads of any of these characters, but this is shaping up to be a pretty big story, and one that I kind of feel like I need to pull apart all on its own, separate from what we've been discussing. So my initial research just shows some very basic facts that maybe we can dive into more as we go along. But I wanted to do this research to kind of, get an understanding of Dumas, weaving in fiction with real history again. But also, we're talking about a fortune here, so I'm curious where this money's coming from. Clearly, this is church money we're talking about, but what kind of church money? From what era? This clearly wasn't put in there moments before Faria found the treasure. This has to have been developed over time. So I'm curious where all that money is coming from and exactly how much we're talking about. So this passage mentions Caesar Borgia, which is the son of Pope Alexander VI. He is a real person, and he was a ruthless military leader and politician. He is actually who inspired Machiavelli's The Prince, if that gives you any sense of how formidable this dude was. Pope Alexander VI, obviously also real, not mentioned in this, but Caesar Borgia is the son of him, and he was also infamous for corruption and political machinations. So, we're just talking about a lineage of these sorts of schemes that are being described in this passage. Now, Rospigliosi and Spada are more than likely fictional characters. I think that Dumas is inventing this whole two cardinals thing. It's probably based on semi-truth, on things that Caesar Borgia and his father did in the past. Maybe not a one-to-one comparison, but I'm sure that they did something similar to this. But because we need to fictionalize that part for this story. He's probably fictionalizing these two characters. Well, we're just getting a taste of a new story unfolding here, explaining, in Faria's mind at least, since we don't have proof that this treasure exists, how the treasure came to be and what exactly it consists of. Exciting stuff to pivot the story in a way I hadn't expected. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Quick side note, I realize there was an episode a few back that I won't say I missed a day. It just came very late in the day, so we still have 100% record for doing a daily podcast, but it was a little bit late in the day. So the reason for that is not that any of you listening, binge listening, are even going to notice, but I've been doing this pretty rigorously for the last 6 months now, and I am starting to feel like maybe my personal life, my social life, my creative life needs a tiny break, just for my own sanity. So here's what I'm gonna do, and I don't know how much it's gonna affect all you listeners, but I am going to attempt to batch record about a month's worth of episodes. That might mean I'm a little out of step with what's happening in the world, if I'm referencing something that seems a little out of date. I mean, I try to avoid that generally speaking, and I always do have a small batch of episodes that I record at a time and release them over the course of the week. But I need to like build out a little vacation for myself. This is a lot of work, and I'm feeling the crunch a tiny bit, and I want to make sure we're delivering you all the daily podcasts that I promised, because we are counting down the next 4 years, 3.5 years at this point. And you know what? The world doesn't take a day off. Therefore, neither can we. All right. With that, I will see you all here tomorrow for more of the Countdown of Monte Cristo, Chapter 18. Here we go. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.